Hi, welcome back to my decorating series. We're going to go inside and go to the 6th floor for the home office this time. Well, I really didn't know what I wanted to do in this room. I knew that I needed a desk and a computer, and I wanted this to be a more formal space. And honestly, I have a long list of rooms that when I get to a new floor, I tend to go, okay, what's the theme of the floor? I have a reading room, I've got a library, a home office would make sense to go in the group. But I struggled with this room. I struggled with the wallpaper. The reason I picked this floor is because I liked it. I liked the fact that it wasn't quite as dark as the dark wood floors and definitely not as light as the medium or light tone floors. But I couldn't decide on the walls. I actually for a long time thought I was going to use this Aladdin wall just because the color seemed to go okay. But I struggled with the windows. I struggled with pretty much everything in this room. And I ended up using a lot of stuff that I don't normally lean towards and that I don't think that I will use regularly in other spaces. But like, I was auditioning my usual suspects, so like curtains and knickknacks and things like that. I actually put the curtains and the windows on the wall to see if maybe some of the walls I didn't like before might look better when they were more covered. And that's how I ended up on the dark palm, although I'm still auditioning walls. Like I just felt so indecisive in this room. But some of the colors, like I liked the pattern, but I didn't like the color palette. And it makes me wish again that we had a way to reskin things or have a way to have the same pattern but have different color options. And I think the further along I get in this whole series, the more I'm going to wish for that. And part of it's because I come from a Sims background where that's how that game works. You have an object and then it's got different skins. I put down all the bookshelves. I put down some wardrobes thinking, okay, there's going to be some storage in here. Not a lot of storage, but just to have like things out to look at while I'm trying to decide on seating. And I struggled with the seating because I didn't like a lot of the colors in the room. I liked the colors of the fabric, but I didn't like the colors of like the wood tone. And I didn't like how plain that chair looked, but I liked the fact that the wood was dark and with a gray cover, like a seat cover. But I just didn't care for that. I sat with it for quite a while I was trying to decide about other stuff in the room. And yeah, I've already stripped everything out because none of it was making me happy. I didn't want to use this blue carpet again, but it went with the color palette. And so I think I end up using it in the final build too, where this is me just still trying to like, do I like these plants? I thought about putting that frog plushie. I don't think I ended up doing it in the end, but maybe I'll go back and stick him in there if he didn't make it. I don't think he makes it. Oh yeah, light floor trick to measure the room. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just make this room really tiny. Maybe I'll make it super tiny and not have to worry so much about filling it up with stuff. And I thought that might be okay, but the stuff that goes on the wall, the curtains, the bookshelves, they don't like this small of a room. They don't like being I couldn't slide them. They would just go into one spot and that was it. So although I liked the idea of a tiny room, the practicality of the tiny room, and honestly, it's a little bit too tiny, to be real. But there was a big struggle trying to find stuff that would go on the walls. So this worked a little bit better. And honestly, it looked like a closet. So it's fine that I made it a little bit bigger. But that, of course, led me back to the struggle of how do I fill up this space when nothing I seem to do seems to be stuff I like. So this is where I start getting into, well, I never use these modern pieces. I don't care for them. I mean, they look like a business, which it's a home office. So if it looks businessy and I probably won't use them anywhere else, maybe I'll throw them in here. And then I was like, okay, well, if you were having a meeting in a home office, you'd probably have beverages. Well, maybe we'll find a counter. Let's see if we can find a counter that will fit in here. And there's a difference between like the islands and then the actual cupboard counters. And I thought maybe I'll put some drinks on here. So I go into the food and drink menu, seeing if I could find anything that might look like something you'd have in an office to, you know, offer to people that come for like a business meeting or something. I looked at tea because I was like, none of the drinks in the actual crafting menu looked right to me. Oh, and this is where I'm like, wait a minute. I remember this thing from Oswald. It's this beverage cupboard. And it's huge, but that's a blessing and a curse because although it was difficult to kind of put in the room, I was like, it's going to take up a ton of space that I won't have to fill with something else, and I won't have to dicker with something else. So then I was like, oh, well, maybe the Art Deco stuff and the modern furniture will work together enough. But I really wish I could have matched the metal tones. Like, I don't like the fact that the chairs are silver and the cupboards are gold. So it's fine. The gold let me play around with some kind of medium tone wood. That's one of the reasons I considered these chairs, but I didn't like the green with the walls. This room. And then I went with this brown chair like I usually do. I use it in several rooms already, but it looks nicer than that dining chair. And the brown kind of ties in with the gold on the Art Deco. Oh, and I got to use the aquarium in here. I know I used it in another room, but I was like, you know, an aquarium feels right for an office. And it takes up a lot of space, which makes me have to think about that space less. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll stick some kind of big art piece in here. I thought about a big plant, but I didn't really like any of the plants in here. And that little fountain's cute. I'm going to have to use that somewhere else. But yeah, this room, I scrolled a lot and really didn't like a lot. And so it came kind of like the door I picked. It's fine. I don't like it, but I'm probably not going to use it very many places. And so this room kind of became the, what am I not going to use anywhere else room? And let's see if we can make it work together. So that's one of the reasons the statue's in the corner right now, because I wanted something big. I wanted something I probably wasn't going to use many other places. I might use him a couple other places, but not very many. And because he's big. And so if there's another room that he might work in, I'd have to be really selective, kind of like the lion statue that I used in the foyer. I might use those outside, but in a room, it's going to be few and far between. So yeah, here I am just quickly scrolling, trying to find anything. Oh, these water fountains. I put them in here. I like them a lot, but I kind of like the way they look in those back corners and instead of plants. Oh yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the door. Just struggling, man. This whole room. Oh yeah, messing with the lighting just to see how the light looks on the statue. Auditioning. You know, futzing. All right, let's go in and check it out. I'm so glad I'm done with this room. I didn't realize how much I was going to struggle with it. I thought, oh, it's a home office. We've got computers, we've got desks. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. And then I just could not figure out exactly the direction I wanted to go in. Usually when I put stuff down, it kind of starts to inform itself. And I felt like there were so many times where I put a bunch of stuff down and nothing really spoke to me. The colors didn't really speak to me. The objects didn't really speak to me. And I think that I did okay. I don't know how well it all goes together, but I like the fact that I did use objects that I probably won't really put in other spaces. I can't sit in this chair. I was gonna, but I didn't. But I do like the fact that I used this statue. I like the fact that I used the beverage thing. I like the Art Deco stuff. They're such large objects that while I like them, I have a tendency not to want to use them because they're too big for me in the spaces I've tried them out. Doesn't mean there won't be a space in the future that I like them. But yeah, that door, it's fine. But I keep struggling with the doors in this game, period. So the fact that I got to use a door that I probably won't use very many other places, a statue I probably won't use very many places, the modern chairs, you know, I think it's fine. It's just for fun, and every time I do a room that I don't like, it teaches me a lot in a similar way to rooms that I like a lot in the end. So it's a learning experience. Every room doesn't have to be a masterpiece, and it'll be okay. And we're one room closer to finishing this floor, which is always good. That's it for today's decorating adventure. If you liked this video, a thumbs up is a great way to let me know, and a subscription will keep you up to date on my latest shenanigans. If you want to hang out with me live, I stream on YouTube and Twitch on Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I'll see you next time.